Okay, and we've got the goblin walk. He's doing his southwest walk, but if we make this true, he switches over to the other walk. And we set this back to false, he'll go back down. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Garnet. If you're new to this channel, I do game development related videos inside of Unity. Today I'll be giving you a quick tutorial on Unity's new package that allows for Aseprite conversion files. So let's just jump straight into it. So there's two sort of prerequisites you want to have here. The first being you want to make sure that you have installed Unity 2021.3.15 F1 or later. So that's the latest version of Unity, any of the LTS, as long as it's after 1.5 inside of the file here. Alright, and then you're going to want to open up a new Unity, new 2D project. You can do 2D core, 2D URP is fine. And the second sort of prerequisite you want to make sure you've got is you want to have Aseprite, which you can download from the Steam store. Okay, so once you've got your new project loaded up, I've got a very empty one here. You want to go to Asset Store. You can either do it through the online web, or you can just use the package manager here. So what you'll do is you'll navigate up to the top here, Window, click Package Manager. And what you want to do is you want to click on the little plus sign here and add project by name. And that's because I have the name here, which will be included inside of the description. So once you click add, it'll install the package into the Unity project. It is at the moment in pre-release. There are some things that they're touching up on, I suppose, but it will be a part of like the official Unity projects at some point, I do believe. Okay, can you close that error? Okay, so next thing you want to do, let's say we've got a new empty Aseprite file here. What I'll do is I'll create a very basic square here, sort of like an isometric square. Alright. And we'll give it some shading as well. Alright, that looks good. Alright, we can make it the perfect canvas size. There we go. Okay, so we've got a very basic square here. And literally all you need to do now, you don't even need to, there's no exporting needed. You can just simply just save, navigate to your project files. So for me, I've just called the project Aseprite Importer, and just go to your assets. You can either create a new folder for it or just leave it up for now. And we'll call this one box. Nice and simple. All right. Now, when you go back into the Unity project, so you can close this for now. Let's open up box here, okay? Now, it's exactly the same as if you were having like a regular sprite. That's like a PNG file. Actually, I will give like an example, like a side-by-side. So we'll export this as box inside of there. Okay, so we've got two here. So this one here is the Aseprite file. See, it's got the Aseprite importer there. And this one is the regular imported 2D image. Okay, so you can see that the settings here are actually really similar. Okay, so you can do the exact same thing that you would do for a normal sprite or a normal 2D image. Select it as either an animated sprite or a sprite sheet. So that's if you want to have like multiple different sort of components that aren't together. And just set the pixels per unit to whatever you want normally. Now a good thing about this is it actually automatically sets the compression settings, which normally you would have to do. So if you've got like a regular sprite here, we'll go zoom into it. Oops. Okay, it's very small. Okay, you can see it's like really blurry. Normally what you would have to do is you would go into like the filter mode, set it to no filter, and the compression settings to none. And then once you click apply, then it'll update. Whereas because it's coming directly from Aseprite, you can load it straight in and it actually applies the compression settings automatically. So that's extremely neat. That's like great. Obviously you can mess around with any of the pixels per unit as necessary. But the next thing I want to show you really quickly is actually if you've got a sprite sheet, if you've actually got like a walking animation or something like that. So this is my goblin from my game that I'm working on at the moment. And you can see he is walking very basic walk. And I've already got like the tags and stuff set up inside of Aseprite. And these tags actually work inside of the file as well. So I'll save this inside of my Aseprite importer and I'll keep it as goblin walk and we'll keep the Aseprite extension here. Now if you click OK and you open up, alright, so it's come up here. And what's really neat is it's also included all of the animations and it's set those up automatically. Now that's extremely useful. So you can see here as well in the sprite editor, it has automatically like set all of the sizes for the sprites depending on like how big they are essentially. But what's also really good about this is it's set the pivot points. So if you had like a normal pivot point in the center, let's say, and you had like a sprite that's like, animated, and one of the pivot points was off center, the animation could clip. It could like bounce up and down. It would look very unnatural. But a part of this package is they account for that so that all of the pivot points are the exact same, essentially, so that you don't have to mess around with any of those settings yourself, which is incredible. And literally, it's as simple as dragging in the goblin or whatever sprite you're working with into the scene. I'll put this down to 32 as well, just so it's a bit bigger. And what we'll do is if you don't already have the animation or animator window open, you can simply go up to window again, animation, and then you've got both animation and animator. So we'll open both of those up. And you can dock them wherever you'd like. I like to dock them on the side here. Okay, so you can see here as well, inside of our animation, as long as we've got the goblin or whatever sprite you're working with selected, it will actually use the tags that we set up inside of Aseprite and automatically apply them as their own animations. So it knows that just because all of these sprites are together doesn't mean the animations are together. So it separates them appropriately, which is really neat. Now, obviously, like in terms of like animating, you can set the exact same parameters up. There's no way, there'll be like a default animation to begin with, and that's always just going to be whatever comes first inside of your Aseprite file. But you can just do what you would normally do. Let's say northeast walk, and just add the transitions however you need. Any errors that come up, it's usually just serialization issues. For the most part, you can ignore them as long as like you've got the conditions set to be true or false. So what I'll do, is I will play this. Actually, I'll make sure this goes to false. Okay. So if we hit play now, okay, and we've got the goblin walk. He's doing his southwest walk, but if we make this true, he switches over to the other walk. And we set this back to false, he'll go back down. So as simple as that. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, please let me know. I will be happy to assist you further if I'm able to. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will catch you very soon for the next video. Thanks.